is help you understand that you have an adversary that is attempting and endeavoring to steal your faith, because if he can steal your faith, then he can steal your eternal destination. This thing is, it really is a mind game. It really is a war of the mind. Hey, welcome Donna. Welcome everybody as you're hopping on. Shakaya. Excuse my dog. Y'all excuse my dog. All right. Miss Howard, welcome. Who else did I miss? Anybody? Sheila Boykin, welcome. No, Sheila Bryant, I'm sorry, welcome. Sean, welcome. We're talking about some very practical things today. There's Sheila Boykin. Okay, welcome, Sheila. Hello to my father. You're right. So, yeah. Hey, my new music that I've had over the last week, everybody. Tylen Rose, super producer, made it for me. In the beginning of it, if you pay attention anyway, in the beginning of it is a part of one of my recent sermons. So he kind of mixed that in and added music to it just as my intro. So shout out to Tylen, super producer Rose, for making that for me. Who else we got on here? Hey, Mike Wilson, how you doing, man? Hope all is well with you, sir. I know it is. I know it is. Okay, so again, let me pull this up real quick. Again, what we are doing is we are talking about some very, very practical financial things, practical things regarding finances, I should say. Hey, Violet, how you doing? Regarding finances, Tuesday, we talked about writing the vision. Wednesday, we talked about I am here. I am here basically is us finding out where we are financially, taking the time out really to find out what we own, what we owe, and then basically once you find out what you own and what you owe, those amounts, subtract what you owe from what you own. Prayerfully, it's a positive. And from that, you'll find out what your net worth is, your net financial worth. This has nothing to do with your personal worth, because you are worthy, period. You are valuable. But we're talking about black and white, on paper, financial net worth. That's what we're talking about. Yesterday we began, and we started off with Proverbs chapter 21, verse 5. It says this: good planning and hard work leads to prosperity. And I didn't read part B yesterday, which is very, very important, because I alluded to that a whole bunch yesterday. Good planning and hard work lead to prosperity. That's part A of Proverbs 21:5. The second part of that verse goes like this: but hasty shortcuts lead to poverty. Hasty shortcuts lead to poverty. Again, I know I sound like a broken record, but I do it because I love you. It's not that I don't have anything else to say. It's because it's what needs to be done. Repetition is the way to learn. Again, we must be people that don't take shortcuts. Shortcuts can mean that you just don't do what you're supposed to do and still think or perceive shortcut. Not doing what we're supposed to do and then thinking that we're going to get different results. That's a perceived shortcut, but it's a lie and it's not going to work for you. Shortcuts in, for example, the things that we talked about this week to do: writing literally writing down your vision, literally writing down, calculating your what you owe and what you own, doing this stuff literally. If we don't do this stuff, what we're trying to do is we're attempting to take shortcuts, but up here we have these grand hopes of what could happen and how things could change. But if we're not doing listen to this, y'all. This is so important. Something else I say a lot. Prosperity, let's just say success in any endeavor in life. Marriage, money, renewing of your mind, career, education. Success is about day-to-day, mundane tasks that we have to do. Success is not exciting. The result of success is exciting. The result of success is exciting. The journey to realizing those progressive dreams and goals, that journey is not exciting, y'all. It is not exciting. Again, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to take liberty, y'all. Y'all know me well enough now. Losing weight, gaining muscle, getting healthy, increasing your finances, becoming financially free, getting your degree, whatever it is, it's not exciting day to day. It's just the result that when we're able to look back at the progressive realization of a worthwhile goal or dream, that's when we're able to be excited once we hit the goal, once we get the dream. But the day-to-day is so boring, y'all. It's boring. And yet it has to be done if you want the result. So if you're looking for emotional excitement every day to do what you need to do in order to get where you want to get, some days may be very exciting. You may have emotionally, you may feel excited. But other days, it's not going to be exciting. It's monotonous. It's day in, day out, doing what you're supposed to do. And little by little, you begin to reach your goals and dreams in whatever we're talking about. It doesn't matter what it is. It's going to happen, but it takes day in, day out, monotonous, boring. It can be challenging. Whatever it is, you just have to do it if you want the results. The question is do you want the results? That's the question. So good planning and hard work leads to prosperity. Hasty shortcuts lead to poverty, lack, hopelessness, not being able to have what it is that you know you should have. All right. So, I wrote this down. I don't know if I read this yesterday. If you remember this, most of you I know have heard this. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. You should have a plan for everything. I know that seems like, well, I'm just not that organized of a person. Okay, then get some help. You let that phone that we're paying all that money for and paying that monthly bill for, let that phone be a tool, a resource to help you to get organized. Get on that calendar, set some to-dos with alerts. Have a calendar in your phone, for things you need to do every day or on certain days or whatever it is. Set alerts and let that phone work for you. We spend all this money on phones, on these high-tech phones, and we pay for the service. And usually what most people do with these phones is what? Text, talk, and social media. Let that phone be a resource for you to help you to prosper. Let it bring organization in your life if you need that type of help. All right? Because again, it can become an investment for you instead of a liability. It can become an asset instead of a liability. So use that phone or whatever you use. Some people use planners. Some people still use paper calendars. Whatever you use it to get organized and know what you're doing. Have a plan. Have a plan. So I said yesterday, the first thing that we need to look at where finances is concerned is generating or cultivating $1,000 for an emergency fund. Establish your emergency fund, $1,000. I also talked a little bit about the debt snowball. If you want more, I don't have that book in front of me. But if you want to know more about the debt snowball, pick up, what is his name? Forgot his name. But anyway, pick up, I'll show you the book. Y'all give me a second. Let me look. No, I'll come back. I'll do that another time. Okay, so anyway, so debt snowball, make sure that you're doing that to help you pay off your bills, okay? Help you pay off your bills. And so that's that. Now, I want to throw some things at you that may help you, okay? Number one, I want to look at percentages, okay? I'm not a math person, okay? Get a calculator out, get that phone out and use your calculator. Telling you, man, that phone is a resource anyway. I don't know where all this phone stuff is coming from, but it is a good resource if you use it to prosper your life. Okay, the tithe. Okay, you make money every week prayerfully. You're making money every week, or you have some type of income coming in. You know the Bible teaches to tithe. All right, 10% of your income goes to tithing. Make that decision. Make that decisive decision, not a shaky decision, and then you go up and down with it. Make a decisive decision that I'm going to begin to tithe. 10% belongs to God. I'm going to give the tithe, etc., etc. You've heard me talk about this so much. All right, 10% goes to God. All right, why do you do that? Because the purpose of the tithe is not because God needs your money. The purpose of the tithe is because your local church needs your money. All right. You might not have ever heard anybody just admit it. That's what it's for. The purpose of the local church, the local church that you attend, that you are fed from, wherever you are fed from on a weekly basis, that's where you tithe. The local church needs your money to pay the bills, pay the pastor, pay other people who are skilled to do certain things, you know, all of that stuff, insurance and all that stuff. All right, keep the lights on, okay? That's where the tithe money goes. God does not need your tithe money, but God requires that you pay the tithe. So the purpose between you and God, where the tithe is concerned, is, am I going to depend on God and do it His way? Am I going to show God that I am a good manager of the money that He blesses me with by being able to have the mental and physical capacity to go to work somewhere and work? Am I going to be a good manager? Yes or no? That's what the tithe proves. Am I a good manager? Yes or no? Black and white, no gray area, no ifs, ands, or buts. Either I'm going to be a good manager or I'm not. It's pretty simple, all right? And so if we're good managers, then we're showing ourselves faithful to be good stewards or managers over the remainder of the money. So the tithe begins to establish within our mindset, not religiously, I'm just going to throw my 10% at church and that's it. No, allow it to establish your mindset that I am a manager over this money. When this paycheck comes in, I am a manager. I'm managing God's resources. So that's why we start off with giving to God first, because we're saying, Lord, you are first in my life. I'm doing it your way. I'm establishing it your way. Now, let me say this. Y'all listen. People have plenty of money and they don't tithe. Okay, so let's just be real about this thing. People still have money and they don't tithe. There are a whole bunch of people that don't even believe in Jesus that got plenty of money and they don't tithe. No, we're talking about kingdom principles, though. As a kingdom person, it's not necessarily just about how much money you make, but it's about the mindset and the submission to God. That's what it's about first and foremost. Now, will that mindset begin to change how you handle money? Well, it should if you're not tithing religiously. Okay, I'm just giving it. No, I give it for a purpose. My purpose is I'm a good manager, and I'm going to show God and myself that every penny that comes in, I got a place for it. I don't waste money. Now, not wasting money does not mean that you don't buy yourself something that you really like. That's a part of the recreational side of money. You have to reward yourself where money is concerned. If you work hard, then you should be able to reward yourself. But we don't reward ourselves by putting ourselves in debt in order to reward ourselves. We reward ourselves by being good managers over God's money. So 10% goes to tithe. Here's another percentage I want to throw out to you. I want you to think about how much you make monthly. How much you make monthly. All right. Let's just say you bring in, we just gonna keep the numbers nice and round. I mean, $1,000 a month. I know you make more than that because that's only $12,000 a year. But let's say you make $1,000 a month. All right. Okay. That's how much you make. The rule of thumb, next percentage, is how much do I spend on my living space? How much do I spend on my living space? In other words, where I live, my home. How much should I be spending so that I am not overspending and making things so tight that I can't enjoy life? Am I going out and buying more house than I can afford, as they say? So usually the rule of thumb is somewhere between 30 to 35% of your income should be your mortgage payment or rent payment. 30 to 35% of your income. So if somebody were making $1,000 a month, then again, this is not realistic. But if somebody making $1,000 a month, then they should be paying $300 to $350 a month on their living or on where they live. If somebody makes a $10,000 a month, then you should be somewhere between $3,000 to $3,500, no more than that, on where you live. Okay. Now let's say you make $5,000. We'll just in my head I'm just doing that. $5,000 a month. You're right at about what, $1,500 to $1,750 per month. And don't go over $1,750. I'm just kind of throwing some numbers out at you. Okay. So, but the rule of thumb is 30% to 35% is how much you never want to go over 35%, and how much you're spending on your rent or mortgage, 35% of your monthly income. Now, if you're over 35%, listen, make more money or downsize your lifestyle. One of the two. It's up to you. Either you find ways to bring more income in, or you downsize your lifestyle so that you don't find yourself going into debt because things are so tight. That was just another thing I wanted to throw out at you. I'm just throwing rule of thumbs. Listen, it's your house, but I'm just throwing stuff at you just so you can kind of look at it. Doesn't mean you just got. I mean, hey, whatever you decide to do. But these are numbers that I've read in books where people that are wealthy say you should stay around. Okay, so that's that. All right. What else was that? Food. Food should be right around, let's say, right around 13%. I know that's a crazy number. All right, y'all. So, in other words, pay attention to how much you eat, how much you're spending on food, okay? So I don't want to get you legalistic and, okay, I got 13% for my grocery bill. But you know what? You don't want to spend so much that you're eating out every day and you find yourself spending a lot of money on food, all right? Have a budget. Have a budget, all right? Let's just hey, what have a budget. You come up with that budget. But whatever your food budget is, listen, stay in that budget. Okay, this is how much I'm going to spend a monthly or every week, however you shop, or every 2 weeks or monthly on groceries. I'm going to stay in my budget based upon how much I make. I know how much I pay for where I live. This is how much I'm going to spend on food. And when you say this is how much I'm going to spend on food, that includes groceries. I know you're not going to like this. And and fast food. Now now watch this. Groceries and fast food, right? Now, if you want to reward yourself, let's say whether you're married or not, doesn't make a difference, but you want to go out with a friend or go by yourself, or you go with your spouse and you have a couple of nights a couple of nights a month where you go to a nice restaurant and it's in your budget, then do what you do. Have fun. Enjoy yourself. Have that in your budget, though. Have that in your budget. But groceries, usually fast food, is what messes up our grocery budget. Because, it's easy to just stop at, y'all know where I'm about to say, but I'm not going to say it. Now, fooled you. You thought I was going to say it. I'm not going to say the name of that place that I always talk about. But it's so easy to stop there. Pick up something real quick rather than having bought your groceries, even cooked or prepped your food for the week. I'm just throwing out ideas. Prep your food for, 3 or 4 days and have that, Taryn, be quiet, and have that, Felicia, you too, have that there, right? So, but have a budget though. That's all I'm saying, y'all. This is not to get us so legally bound up that we just don't enjoy life. But listen, it is about us having the goal. It's about, Felicia, it's about us having the goal of what? Financial freedom. It's about getting us to a place, if we have to sacrificially live a certain way for a certain amount of time, to get us to a place where then when you want to stop to get something to eat, it doesn't hurt you anymore. You're able to do it. Why? Because you're financially free. The purpose of what I'm talking about is to get us financially free, so that when you're financially free, now you don't, what did I say and I'm just about finished. Here, I want to get, what's that definition? The definition of financial freedom: free from anxiety about financial matters. That's why we're talking about tightening things up for a season of life, for 6 months, a year, or whatever it may take. That's why we're talking about being disciplined and sacrificial. Why? To get ourselves in a position that then we have the money to be able to do what we want to do, but we're not anxious about it. My God, I hate that. We're not anxious about it, right? So that's another. Last thing I'll say, shameless plug. But the last thing, if I can take, we're at 12:25 now. I need 2 minutes. Again, it's for 2 reasons. Number one, you guys know I have a part-time life insurance business. All right. Now, auto insurance, it's the law. You got to have auto insurance. So I'm not going to even talk about auto insurance. But I do have a part-time life insurance business. So that's a part of the plug. But here is, and I guarantee it because I do this every day. But more than that is this. When I get information, I want to share it with you. I have learned about life insurance. I've learned what it is. I've learned how it functions. I've learned how wealthy people have used it to establish estates for upcoming generations. And so I'm going to share the information with you like I do the Word of God and everything else I share. So I'm sharing it. It's 2%. Let's say 2% of your income goes towards life insurance. Why have life insurance? Well, Pastor, why am I paying for this? You know what? There's a customer I had. This is going to go okay anyway. There's a customer I had, and she said, I really don't care. My kids, they gonna have to fend for their own self. I was like, well, okay. If that's how you live and that's how you feel, that's how you feel. She did not buy it, and she meant what she said. I could care less. I'm going to be dead. My kids will have to worry about this stuff. Okay? That's her. But if you have any inkling of care about the financial future of your children, then life insurance is important. Let me say now, 2 types of life insurance. There's term life and whole life. I'm not going to get into all that. But listen, it is good for you to have, it's a very safe, easy, and inexpensive way to begin to establish an estate. Now, what does the estate mean? The estate means that you're not going to be able to benefit from it, but what's called your beneficiaries, the people you leave on your policy, they will benefit from it. So when we talk about life insurance, we're not talking about making your life better. We're talking about making your children's lives better so that they don't have to start where you started. In other words, when you pass away, then there's going to be a big lump sum of money tax-free that they are able to utilize to get a home or pay off debt, which is going to help them. Why? Because you paid a little bit of money every month out of love for them, right? Out of love for them, so that they would have something to work with as you've trained them to handle that money when it's ready. So when that time comes. So life insurance is important, y'all. And as always, if you need some help with that, and you don't have to buy anything, no obligations, listen, get with me. I just want to sit down and talk to people. Listen, there's no pressure. I'm not going to try to pressure you, hard sell you into getting some life insurance. I will never do that. All I'm going to do is share with you the knowledge of it. You make your own decision, and I'm going to help you to find the best life insurance policy for you based upon your desires and and that will fit into your budget. So I'm not, hey, this is part-time for me. I'm not trying to make a living doing that. People try to make a living, then they go for the jugular. I'm not trying to make a living. This is just what I do part-time. Why? Because I want to have more to take care of my family. Boom. So that is it for today. Somebody asked a question. They asked about 401ks. How much should you go into 401k? Listen, if you have a job that has 401k on your job, max it out if you can. What they usually have, like a certain amount you can put in, 3%, something like that. Max it out if it's 3%. If you can do that in your budget, put all the 3% out of your check that comes out of your check, because what they're going to do with a 401k is match it. So that means now they're going to match it with another 3%. So that's why you want to max it out and do that. By the way, if your job offers life insurance, max it out. Because usually job life insurance or work life insurance is free. So take it. But the only thing about work life insurance is that wherever you work, if you ever leave there, then of course, that policy is canceled because you don't work there anymore. So that's why you want to have your own personal life insurance as well. But 401k, max it out if you can. Put the whole 3% in. It's worth it, ladies and gentlemen. I know that I could use that money now. All we're going to do is spend that money. Let that money compound in interest so that down the road you're in a better place. This is by far the longest I've ever went. It's 12:31. I'm finished. Goodbye. I love y'all. Have a good weekend. See you Sunday.